Hello and welcome to our flip video lesson, How Many Kingdoms? Lesson 4.06. So our lesson 4.06 details our Human Odyssey reading pages. We just have one page to read actually, page 117. You just read to the part where it says Disruptive Pharaoh. Read up to that part. Your student guide workbook pages 105 to 108. Your OMS assignment is your assessment 4.06. And about the topic, a brief overview of the kingdoms of Egypt. So what are we learning about today? We're going to analyze timelines to determine how historians categorize the history of Egypt. And then we're going to recognize key events of the Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms of Egypt and the surrounding world at that time. Lesson introduction, How many kingdoms? Historians divide the Egyptian civilization into three distinct periods: the Old Kingdom, the Middle Kingdom, and the New Kingdom. During these periods, powerful dynasties ruled, strong governments developed, and pharaohs built lasting monuments. Sometimes historians include a fourth period, the Late or Decline period, when Egypt's power began to ebb, meaning when it began to go down. And a dynasty, this word powerful dynasties are typically a cycle that are ruled by a family or a group of related people. So three kingdoms of Egypt. Remember, time is always moving forward. Anything BC or BCE is like a negative on a timeline. So here we take a look at, this is the timeline of the three kingdoms of Egypt. Everything is BC. So we've got the pre-dynastic cycle, which was prehistory to about 2600 BCE. We're not really sure where that was. Old Kingdom 2600 to 2100. These are the three main ones that we're going to be talking about today. The Middle Kingdom is 2100 to 1567 BCE, and then the New Kingdom is 1567 to 1085 BC. And you can see these numbers are going downwards. Again, time is always moving forward, but if we think about a timeline, everything to the left is negative, everything to the right is positive. So, for example, the year 3 BC or BCE, the next year would be the year 2. The next year would be the year 1. So it's kind of going backwards, like a negative timeline in math, okay? And then once we hit right here at 0, everything starts to move forward. This is where we go into AD or Anno Domini or CE, Common Era, and everything moves forward 1, 2, 3 up into current day. Okay, so if that gets a little confusing, always remember this visual here. So now you're going to turn to your student guide, page 106. There's not much space to write, so you can get a piece of paper if you need to. You can pause this video, get a piece of paper to write in there, or you can write along the sidelines. Question number 1, what are the three main periods in ancient Egyptian history? The Old Kingdom, the Middle Kingdom, and the New Kingdom. And you'll notice some of these dates are a little off. They're not exact. Obviously, when we are talking about history, millions of years ago, it's definitely, a year or two off, or 5 years is going to happen. So some of the dates may vary a bit, but you need to know the Old Kingdom is basically from 2600-ish BC to 2100-ish BC. And then, Middle Kingdom, 1990 BC-ish to 1780-ish, and then so forth. Okay? Question number 2. What are some of the Egyptians' most important accomplishments during the Old Kingdom? Khufu's Great Pyramid and other pyramids at Giza were built. Question number 3. What were some of the Egyptians' most important accomplishments during the Middle Kingdom? Egyptians conquered territory to the south and traded with lands as distant as Syria, greatly influencing their realm of influence. And then question number 4, in what kingdom did Hatshepsut rule? It was in the New Kingdom. And again, this is on page 106 in your student guide. And question number 5, name 2 male pharaohs who ruled during the New Kingdom that are still famous today. So King Tut and Ramses II. King Tut is probably the most famous simply because we have the most information on King Tut. And now you're going to turn to page 107 in your student guide. There's a chart there that you're going to need to fill out. The Old Kingdom, the Middle Kingdom, and the New Kingdom. So if we look here to the Old Kingdom, the pyramids at Giza were built, the Sphinx were built, hieroglyphics were first widely used, papyrus was first used as a writing material, and the embalming process was developed. And then if we take a look at the Middle Kingdom, pharaohs encouraged trade, Irrigation techniques improved. First tombs were built in the Valley of the Kings. And then the Egyptians controlled Nubia. And then in the New Kingdom, pharaohs worked to strengthen Egypt's empire. Hyksos were driven out. Akhenaten attempts to revolutionize religion. King Tut becomes pharaoh. Tutankhamun displays the wealth of the era. Ramses II builds monuments and temples. And Egypt's first female pharaoh, Hatshepsut, rules. And you'll learn a lot more about Akhenaten, King Tut, Hatshepsut in the readings to come. Mental math using timeline. So go ahead and turn to page 108 of your student guide. How long did the Old Kingdom last? You can do this on your own and you can check the answers, or you can simply write in the answers just so you have a visual of how long these periods actually lasted, these dynastic cycles lasted. How long did the Middle Kingdom last? 205 years. How long did the New Kingdom last? 485 years. And then question number 2, how many years passed between the uniting of Upper and Lower Egypt before the Old Kingdom in about 3100 BC to the Persians' takeover of Egypt after the New Kingdom? And that was in 525 BC. So that was about 2,500 years, 2,575 years. And then if we think about it, question number 3, let's put these events into perspective. The United States became a nation in 1776. How many years has it existed as a country? So that was 245 years. So that gives you a good mental note of how long each of these kingdoms lasted and the time period that we're studying and how long and how many advancements happened within that time frame. So again, your reading page is page 117, and then you will have additional reading pages that go along with some of this information in your next lesson. Important vocabulary words to understand. Unite means to come or bring together to form a unit or whole, especially in political context. Control is the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. Revolutionize is to change something radically or fundamentally. And embalming is to preserve a corpse from decay, or originally with spices, that's in ancient Egypt, and now we use artificial injection of a preservative. And here we come to our quote section. History is a pact between the dead, the living, and the yet unborn. And that was said by Edmund Burke. Thanks so much for joining me today. As always, stay positive, stay fighting, stay brave, stay ambitious, stay focused, and stay strong. Have a great day.